Sorry, I think something happened. I don't know. Yeah, sorry. Some people are removed from the call, I think. I hope nobody got kicked out. In case your friend got kicked out, please let us know and we will be able to invite them back. However, yes. So we are kicking off our mini hawk, and this is our first cohort. This is our first session, and we're super excited for it. So I'll quickly introduce the session and just set the pace so that everybody actually knows why they are here, what they are expected to do, and where should they get started from. So before we begin, like I mentioned, cameras on if you can, because we'd like to put it. And of course, if you are not speaking, please mute your microphone, because we do not want to have too many interruptions during the sessions, and it will just make it easy for the teachers to just take us through the sessions, okay? And of course, keep dropping your names and where you're joining from in the chat. We'd love to see it. We'd love to support you, and just love to amplify where you're coming from and what you're doing. Better, you can tell us what you're building if you're already building, okay? And we encourage everybody to ask questions freely, because there is no damn questions whatsoever. Okay, so we are expected to be present, and so in case you have too many tabs on your laptop, please close some tabs, because class is on and we want everybody to pay attention, because yes, why not? And of course, we are here to build a powerhouse today. So if you're here and you're not planning to build, I think you are in the wrong place. But if you are here and you're planning to build and ship and go to market, then you are definitely in the right. Okay, so yes, I see you in the chat. Keep dropping your names and keep dropping where you're joining from, and keep inviting your friends to come on and join the call, okay? Because this is gonna be an interesting call. All right, and so this is going to be a very interesting session, and this is the only time and any other time that you are allowed to unmute your microphone. And yes, we just want to declare some affirmations together. As they're kicking off, we want to declare some affirmations. We want to make sure that everybody here is in the right headset, in the right mindset, to be able to learn, share, collaborate, build, shape, and go to market. Okay? So if you can unmute your microphone, if you are not having a very noisy background, I want you to unmute your microphone, and I want you to say this with me. Okay, so just repeat this with me step by step. If you are feeling like you do not want to unmute, no problem. Just mute yourself and make sure you say the affirmation. Okay? So yeah. Okay. Now, I see many people are continuing to join. Okay, which is good. It's okay. So as we're kicking off, just say these affirmations with me. Okay, so we are starting. I am a builder. And I
belong to this place.
Bring my full focus.
Bring my full focus. I'm not exactly. I ask questions from the
I'm saying it like I mean it.
Hello, Ursula from Disco. Nice to meet you guys. Yeah, I'm a web developer and a cybersecurity enthusiast. Thank you.
Wow, amazing. I love it. I love that everybody got a chance to open their mouth and just say some affirmations and just introduce themselves. Thank you, Ursula, for that confidence, for just, introducing yourself and being confident, really, and being present. I appreciate you. So you all are amazing and you did amazing. So everybody, in case you are sure, if you're a builder, today is the day that you should make sure that you know, and it should stick in your head. you know? Okay, so in case you need these affirmations to keep reminding you, take a screenshot. Otherwise, we will be able to share this presentation after the session. Okay, all right. So this leads me to my next session. So I want to know in the chat, and I will just do a quick poll because it will be very, very important for us to know who you are. A quick snapshot, okay? So let's meet each other. Where are you on your Web3 journey? So give me that, give me the letters in the chat. Give me the letters in the chat. I want to see. Where are you on your Web3 journey? Are you a totally new first time hearing about Web3? Have you heard about the terms but have not built anything? Yeah, have you experienced a little, do you know about wallets? Do you know about NFTs, etc.? Have you built something in Web3 before? And are you already shipping and you're just here to level up? It's important for us to know, yeah. So where are you exactly in this Web3 journey? Tell us. So let me see. Wow, okay. I see so many are, they've heard about the terms. I see Bravin has heard about the terms. I see, Simon has experience. Absen, I'm sorry, I have not butchering your name. You built something in Web3, amazing. Also, Derek, you built something in Web3, cool. All right. So who's already shipping, guys? Oh yeah. Oh wow. I see a lot of you, total new beginners. Welcome. This is the right place for you, so I don't feel some type of way. And I see you've heard about it. At least most of you have heard about it, which is good. And if you're new, at least now you're hearing about it, which is amazing too. And of course, if you have experience, we would love to learn from you. If you're already shipping, please let us know what you're shipping, okay? And of course, if you have built something already, what have you built, right? And have you gone to market, right? If not, why not? Okay, so it's good to see. Amazing. All right, so let me now introduce you guys, ladies and gentlemen, to our session for tonight, and just introduce to you our speakers. So tonight's speakers, we have two amazing speakers, me included. So I am Lavender, and I am lead operations for Avalanche Team 1 in Kenya, and I am co-facilitating this session. And of course, my focus is on ecosystem enablement and community building. And fun fact about me, which is why I use this photo, is that I almost always misplace my glosses. So guys, if you ever see any of those at any IRL events, maybe just feel free to ask or put in the lost and found. It might be mine, okay? Yeah, so that's one fun fact about me. So what is your fun fact? So drop it in the chats too. I want to know what is your fun fact too. Let us laugh at one another, okay? And then I'm gonna introduce our other amazing speaker that you're gonna hear from him very, very soon. And his name is Sylus. So Sylus is a very, he's a geek. But before I get into why he is a geek, he is definitely a great Web3 developer, and he's going to be co-facilitating this session with me. So he's focusing on Web3 education, of course, building his amazing startup on Avalanche. And fun facts about him, he's a total geek. And the reason why I'm saying he's a total geek is because he used to read his sister's novels when he was in primary school, and his sister was way older, and he used to use those stories to write composition. Can you imagine? Sylus, yeah, you are that. So that plus more, many more. So if you want to know more about Sylus, he's going to be talking to us soon. So you want to ensure that you want to get his contact or get his one way of just, getting in contact with him. Amazing. I see Joseph in the chat. One fun fact is he plays Temple. What? Joseph, are you serious? You play Temple Run occasionally? Still, all right. I thought I hope we're gonna do something about the gaming cohort and be able to do some more mobile games, because I see we have gamers in the house, which is really cool to see. Okay, so nice. Guys, what is your fun fact? You just want to hear about people's fun facts. What about yours? Drop it in the chat. We'd love to see. I see her. I see, yay, I see Roman. He say, I see every problem as a chance to build a solution with code. Wow. Okay, who do we have on the call tonight? Because Jigs? All right. Love to see it. So as you're continuing to drop your fun facts, I will now welcome you to our mini hack. So quickly, we will still go back and just check on the fun facts. Okay, so keep dropping them there. But then mini hack, welcome to mini hack. And if you are coming from our community calls and you're not aware about our mini hack, now you know. Okay, so scan that QR code and sign up. All right, so we are welcoming every person, every member, every builder, every enthusiast to participate in mini hack. So I'm going to talk to you more about mini hack. So this is a builder program that is designed to equip founders with Web3 fundamentals so that you can be able to build niche solutions, an ecosystem of tech, and we are building an ecosystem of technical and non-technical talent. And of course, this is going to be a hands-on experience where you're going to be building on Avalanche. So someone is asking about the QR. No problem, I'm gonna just share it shortly. And of course, we want to ensure that you know, building real projects and going to market. And of course, we are fostering a powerhouse community of ecosystem enablers. So this is not just a workshop, this is going to be your launch pad. So if you have not signed up, this is the QR code. Please scan the QR code and sign up right now, because we're going to share more information. There's amazing opportunities. So we have different cohorts that I'm about to talk to you about. You know, so they have 3 main cohorts. So the first cohort is this month of June, which we are kicking off with the payments cohort. So you're going to learn how to build payment solutions on Avalanche using all the available resources that you have in the community and in the ecosystem. The next cohort is going to happen in July. So this cohort is going to be around gaming and gamification. So building gamified solutions, right? So if you're a gamer or you love to game or you have an idea of what could be gamified or you'd like to just explore gaming, this is the right place for you. So you should explore the gaming cohort. So this is gaming cohort is going to happen in July. And last but not least, we have the our agentic systems, right? So we have the third cohort is going to be building agentic system in the agentic era. So anything AI, integrations with AI, you'd wanna explore that cohort. I see in Finalities. Wow, it's such a unique name. Yes, do you have a question?
Hi, I just want to say, camera is just blocking the, mini camera is blocking the QR code.
Oh, interesting. I think I'll just switch then. I'll switch to my other gadgets because I'm on 2 gadgets. So one might have issues. So pardon me for that. So let me just switch up. Okay, thank you for that. All right. Okay, confirm you can hear me okay? Everyone, just give me some reactions. Amazing. Awesome. Cool. So I think I'll just stop sharing with this. Just 1 minute as I share my screen. Okay, please confirm if you can see my screen. No, all right. What about now? Awesome. Amazing. Cool. So, yeah, so like I was saying, give me 1 sec. So, see. Okay. So yeah, so if you have not, please sign up for mini hack, all right? And then so tonight's agenda, actually. So tonight's agenda, of course, we've done some introductions. We're gonna hear shortly from Sylus. Of course, we've done our affirmations. So I hope that we have everybody. In case you're joining in late, don't worry. We will share all this after the session. And of course, we hope that you all will, be able to be onboarded to the community, and of course, get started with learning about Web3, learning about blockchain, and learning about Avalanche. All right. So remember, we welcome all the questions that you may have. So do not feel some type of way and do not feel shy from asking away. We welcome all the questions, and there's no silly questions. So feel free to ask any questions. Also, us guys are actually building. So we would love to learn from you guys and just share your knowledge, share your insights, whatever you may have. So we will have some polls and interactive activities. We will share more about the build stack, and you will set up the environment, and you will also have to have some Q&A after the session. We will share some quests after the session so that you are able to just, in case you missed anything, you're able to refresh your mind and jog your mind a little with the quest, okay? So yeah, so like quickly, I will just go through what is our North Star. Perhaps someone is hearing about Team1 for the first time. So our mission is to empower global communities to build Avalanche and cultivate a builder culture that supports and onboards founders and startups. Of course, our region, we are focusing to impact regionally, through organic interactions like this, and during and ensuring that we are also catering for the local community through putting together localized initiative and experiences, and of course scaling regionally and achieving our proven goals. And of course, building a builder community like this, we want builders to have clear pathways from onboarding to shipping, and we want to build a growing base of builders that are shipping real projects on Avalanche and shipping and going to market. And of course, the ultimate goal is to be able to position Avalanche as the default choice of builders and institutions and communities. So we are a global community of developers, creators, and educators, helping people discover and build on Avalanche. We started in 2024, but in Kenya, we are 1.5 years now. That's when Avalanche Team1 scaled to Africa. And since then, we've been impacting people from grassroots levels, now with over 600 members across 55 countries and collaborating with 80 plus universities worldwide. What we do, we organize in-person meetups, workshops, and digital content around Avalanche. We also support new developers and creators that are learning blockchain through events, education, and mentorship. The bigger picture, though, is Web3 gives people ownership over their data, assets, and creative work. And Team1 helps that accessible. So we connect real people with real tools, and Team1 turns blockchain from an abstract concept into something that anyone can use. All right. So, of course, like I mentioned, 6 main areas of focus: community growth and sentiment, regional scaling and localizing the experiences, builder culture and talent acquisition, storytelling, partnerships and real world adoption, operational efficiency, and ensuring member empowerment. All programs that you do all the time, they clearly support and fit into one or more of these areas. So let me now introduce you to Avalanche, and I will then introduce our next speaker after my session. So Avalanche, the way I like to describe it, is a layer 1 for building decentralized applications, as well as layer 0 platform that you can launch independent blockchain. So I tend to describe Avalanche as a blockchain of blockchains because of these functionalities that it has. So it uses the groundbreaking Snowman consensus. This is something that you're going to also learn shortly in the next session. And the block finality is less than a second, right? And it's a multi-chain, so it's a multi-chain and using the multi-chain architecture, but feels like a single chain. So if you're transitioning from any other ecosystem, let's say Ethereum, you then understand that you will appreciate the multi-chain architecture that Avalanche has. In terms of interoperability, it's enriched at base layer with the WAP messaging. And it has a groundbreaking virtual machine development SDKs that achieves 143,000 plus transactions per second for each chain. So this, as you're continuing to learn about Avalanche, you will appreciate all this that Avalanche has. So what Avalanche is not, so Avalanche, the same way many people like to describe it, is not a side chain of Ethereum, and it's not just another EVM compatible chain, and it's not a layer 2 blockchain, in case anyone was wondering. And if you are a developer or a founder, this session is for you. And if you're a student or a technical person or an technical individual, this is equally for you because there's something for everyone on this cohort. So quickly, I will just share with you offerings that we have for students. If you're a student on the call, you want to explore the Avalanche Builders Hub, that's where you will explore the academy. And if you're very, very new, like I always say, I saw people on the call that were new, you want to start exploring All Explains. So All Explains is a very powerful tool that helps our early founders or people that are exploring Avalanche and understand Avalanche from a layman's perspective. So we also have the Entrepreneur Academy and the Avalanche Builders Hub, and we have the faculty development program that Avalanche supports the faculty teams in the university, and we have internship opportunities. And if you are exploring engineering and stuff like that, you want to explore the internship opportunities that Avalanche has. Also, all this, you can find them from the Avalanche Builders Hub. Other offerings that we have Connect. So we tend to organize events, IRL events and virtual events like this. And we want to encourage more people to join the initiative. So we are currently onboarding more members to join and contribute to Team1 through contributing to events and virtual sessions like this, and just becoming Team1 members. And when you're becoming a Team1 member, you could be able to request for any support that you may need from Team1, if you are, depending on what contributions you're making to Team1. And other offerings that we have, of course, if you're a builder, and I'm sure many people on the call are actually builders, we have so many resources in the Build and Innovate Hub. So this still you can find them in the Builders Hub. And on the Builders Hub, we also have different hackathons that you may participate, you may jump on. We almost always have global hackathons happening. We have grant programs that are supporting founders in the community, in the ecosystem. We have have bounties. We will share more about the bounties that we have for this mini hack. So you want to ensure that you show up for the sessions. And we also have accelerator programs. So we encourage all the builders that are building to build with the intentions of going to market and not just building for purposes of a hackathon or participating in a hackathon. What you need to bookmark, the AVAX network and AVAX network and hackathons. So these are opportunities that you want to explore, and they're always almost recurring all the time. And if you have not yet, join the movement right now. So here's a QR code for you to scan it and join the movement. So give you 1 minute to just scan the QR code for everybody that has not scanned the QR code. Okay. Right. So I don't know if anyone has any question or any concern, but I am happy to take any questions as I welcome our next speaker to come on board. Sylus, if you can hear me, please confirm.
Yeah. Hi, Lavender. Yeah, I can hear you. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay. So I assumed like Lavender left it there, so I can take it from there. So to quickly introduce myself, my name is Sylus, as Lavender has mentioned, and I am a mobile developer, specifically iOS, but I've also been doing like Web3 development. So I guess my journey in tech really began in Web3. So the moment I started or I learned about software development and engineering, I was already in campus in my first year, and basically I began learning software engineering from a Web3 perspective. So all of my tech life has been based on Web3. Most of the things that I've done a UI facing application, because at the time when Web3 was still becoming a thing, maybe I'll share that as part of the incentive that made me join Web3. The main thing that people are talking about is the user experience and the user interfaces, because Web3 as it is, it's not really a straightforward concept, as many of you might have noted. One, because there's a lot of information out there, and two, because the cryptographic technology is not something that everyone knows about. So it's something that if you're trying to get users to use Web3 technology, you're going to have to make it as easier as, let's say, M-Pesa or Equity Bank for them to be able to adopt and use that technology. It might have its benefits compared to Web2, but everything usually has a trade-off. And for Web3, it was complexity. So the main thing that attracted me to Web3 was actually the user interfaces side and the user experience side, because I'm also like a passionate front-end developer. As I've mentioned, I'm a mobile developer. So that is one of the things that really intrigued me about Web3 development. Fast forward to today, and I'm going to be taking you guys through the Avalanche, introduction to Avalanche. I would like to call it, or maybe we would have liked to call it introduction to blockchain, but really that is another rabbit hole on its own. And nowadays, since people are being more specific, you cannot consume everything, I think introduction to Avalanche is way much better than compared to, like, saying introduction to blockchain. So that is what I'm going to be doing today. I don't know if I can present Lavender. It's okay. Lavender, can you hear me? Okay, thank you. Let me share the screen. So I'll just come here and go back. So I'll start from here, but I think Lavender had already mentioned what Avalanche is. So as she has put it well, it's a blockchain of blockchains, which means that it allows users and developers to launch custom L1 chains that borrow from the parent Avalanche chain. The thing that she stressed on, I remember, was that it's not layer 2. So the difference between layer 2 and layer 1 is that layer 1 is the primary network of settlement. So, for example, if you guys have heard of Bears, Optimism, or ZK Sync, these are types of of layer 2. So what it means is that the users are interacting with Base, right? But now the transactions really are not happening on Base. They are being either rolled up to be settled on the main Ethereum chain. So it's an optimization of some sort, but it's not what we're going to be looking at, because layer 2 and layer 1 it's different, and also we have layer 0s and layer 3s. But the most important thing is not to be caught up in the wording. Just know that Avalanche, you have you can use Solidity to write smart contract application that will run on the Avalanche chain, but you can also deploy your own blockchains that borrow from the primary chain, and they will not be L2. So they will not be like Base or like Optimism. They will be like their own layer 1. And I'll get to explain this a few slides later. So I'll just again use my notes here. So the thing that Avalanche stresses about is that in our mind, or in our view, we have 3 generations of chain. So we have the first one, which is Bitcoin, we have the second one, which is Ethereum, and the third, which now we are introducing Avalanche. The first generation was just like a single chain, a single asset. So the Bitcoin chain, prior to some of the scaling up that has been done lately with Lightning Network and others, you could only send Bitcoin or the Satoshis on the Bitcoin network. So you couldn't send any other token. When it came to Ethereum, we had a single chain and we had multiple assets. So the Ethereum chain, again, ignoring the scaling up or the optimization that came later, you could have Ethereum, you could have maybe Link, you could have some other assets on Ethereum, and you could also deploy some other assets and sell them. Now, the third generation, which Avalanche is part of, is now what we are calling multiple chain, multiple assets. So you not only have one chain, you have multiple chains. As Lavender mentioned, Avalanche is a blockchain of blockchains. So you can have other layer 1s that borrow from the Avalanche network. And we'll get to understand why you might need to create your own blockchain as the slides progress. So again, this is just the definition of what Lavender gave. The main thing you need to know is that you can build smart contract application, and you can also have blockchains of your own on Avalanche. So do not get too much caught up on layer 1s, layer 2s, and their meanings. This is something that you get to understand, and you might not even understand fully for you to become a developer or a founder on Avalanche. So the architecture of the Avalanche network is basically 3 chains. So we have the exchange chain, which is the X chain, the platform chain, which is the P chain, and we have the contract chain, which is the C chain. So for most of us doing Solidity programming, or for those of us who will start to learn Solidity and do contract deployment, or who are coming from other EVM chains, you'll mostly be interacting with the C chain, and that is fine. You don't need to go beyond that. If this fits your specific use cases, then you can proceed with the C chain. However, we have multiple chains, as you can see. So the X chain is just basically an exchange chain for assets. So for creating and exchanging of assets, which is much more efficient than using the contract chain. Again, I will get to talk about why this segregation of chain and why it's important, and why also you might need to want to build your own chain. And then the platform chain, this is the things that coordinates the network. So we have the Snowman consensus protocol, which is running there. I will get to explain that. And also it validates and connects the validators. So if a consensus mechanism is to happen, then we need to have communication between the validators. I'll proceed to explain the Snowman consensus protocol used by Avalanche. So the thing is, in blockchain, you need a way to agree that a transaction has happened. And the way the Bitcoin white paper presented it is that the longest chain, or the longest stack of blocks is the most true one. And this is important because if we have a decentralized financial system where like trust is not on the table. So like I cannot just say I trusted Lavender sent me $10 and then like nachi hapo. That is not how blockchain works. Blockchain works on verify first, then you trust later. So a consensus protocol is just a way of the validators or the nodes agreeing that something happened. And most of these things, most of this something that I'm talking about is usually transactions. So sending of money, deploying of contracts, etc. you mentioned. So a consensus protocol is just how people come to agree on a transaction, on the validity of a transaction. Sorry about that. So for blockchain, for Bitcoin, sorry, it was proof of work. I don't know if they changed. I heard something about that, but for Bitcoin, for the most part, it has been proof of work. For Ethereum, it has been proof of I don't know what was that called? Proof of something. I cannot remember for Ethereum. But now for Avalanche, we have the Snowman. So I'll give an analogy of the Snowman protocol before I explain it. So suppose we have a class of 1,500 people and we want to agree between Hotel A and Hotel B, which one is the best. So the way the Snowman protocol works is that instead of asking all 1,500 of us, the way Lavender said, everyone to turn on their mic and shout their responses, that will be noisy, that will be crowded, and it will be very hard to know how many people say this, how many people say that, right? So what the Snowman does is that it says, if you're in a group, in your circle, count 5 people, ask them, what did you agree on, A or B? That way. So as it progresses, you'll find that people are communicating or they're sharing information in groups, and then from there, if the most answer that was given is A, then A is what the chain uses. If it was B, B is what it uses. And the good thing about this is that it's so fast. So we have like sub-second finality, which means that the finality of a transaction is below 1 second. And the finality of a transaction basically means that if I sent you money on Avalanche, how long does it take before you can safely confirm that I have actually sent you that money, and you can also use that money to do your own things, maybe to send it to another person or withdraw it. So that is what finality is, it's called. And also high decentralization validators, as you can see, we have 1,500 validators, and the last 2 points, which are not really important as long as you understand the consensus protocol. And most of these things that we're saying, again, it's not like you're going to be interacting with them physically as you write the smart contract. These are things that just once in a while will appear, maybe help you debug once in that very rare bug, or just when you're communicating your product to people, you can be able to know what is really happening. And if there is a problem or there is a feature you can build on top of the subsequent finality or any other thing, things like gaming, as Lavender has mentioned, there are a lot of microtransactions that needs to happen fast. So just having a general knowledge of this, it's fine if you want to go deeper. Again, there's a link there in the slides. You can go deeper. So I'll move on to the multi-chain architecture. And this is something that we have been mentioning. Yeah. So like you have a single blockchain and validator set, and then people or like developers can develop on top of these, or not on top, but based on this main chain. So how it works is that if you have a financial institution that maybe you want to build a financial institution that you don't want everyone to be a validator, right? Like you want verified people to be a validator. Let's say the CBK wants to have its own blockchain for sending money to and from banks, but they don't want everyone to be a validator or like anyone to be a validator. So like that is why they would want to have a personal blockchain or their own L1 that they can then set the rules. Again, I will talk about this later in the slides so that you can see the benefit of having your own chain. So I'll move on. And again, the terminologies that we have been mentioning here, layer 1, layer 2, then they're really not important for you to master if you're going to do the C chain development. So if you're going to write smart contract and you're going to build dApps, but if you want to build your own L1, then this is the section for you. So the things about layer 1, as I've mentioned, you need the benefits is scalability, independence, customizability, and compliance. And let's start with the first one, scalability. So scalability is a very important feature, especially those of you coming from a software engineering background, because institutions really rely on traffic to make money. So if you have a lot of people, like typically if you have a lot of people using your app, that means you're making a lot of money. But the problem is that a lot of people using your app means high pressure on the servers, on the resources of your application. Now, assuming like we had everyone on Ethereum, right? Like everyone is sending transactions to Ethereum, like people who are swapping tokens, people who are gaming, people who are gambling. Okay, it's not called gambling, it's called prediction market nowadays. But people who are doing that, maybe on Polymarket. So like you can find that the network is being congested by a lot of transactions that are not really but generic transactions, like transactions from everywhere. So a reason why you would want to have your own chain is, as an example, I've given the CBK. Like CBK doesn't want to send money to Equity and it takes 3 days. That is why they're moving. An example, that is why they will be moving from the normal system of sending cash. So like the remittance will take a lot of time. So like them to move into blockchain is that sorry, does anyone have a question? Okay. Okay, so for them, the reason why they're moving from that is that it takes too long and it's expensive. Now, when you bring them to Ethereum and you're still charging them $50 per transaction, and it's taking the whole day to process the transaction, that is a problem. But if you have your own L1 chain, you're the only one using it, right? And therefore, the bulk of the transaction that is happening on that chain, it's yours. So you have the ability to control what is happening. Now, the example that is being given here is the throughput. So blockchain's speed is usually measured by the throughput and the finality time. Finality time I talked about. Let me now talk about the throughput. The throughput just means the number of transactions that can be processed.
Sorry, could you repeat that again? What does what with throughput?
Okay, the performance of a blockchain is usually measured by two things: finality, which I spoke about, and throughput. Right? So throughput is just the amount of transactions that the blockchain can process per second, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Now, I talked about finality and mentioned that because we are using the Snowman consensus protocol on Avalanche, we have sub-second finality, which is very good, which means if I send you money, you're seeing it within a second, and you can use it within that second. Now, the throughput just means how many transactions can be processed per second. 20,000 transactions per second, 100,000 transactions per second, theoretically, that is good. But now the problem becomes when you are scaling, those of you coming from a software engineering background, there's something called vertical and horizontal scaling. Now, vertical is just basically expanding the lane. If you have 10 cars or 10 lanes, you make it 15 lanes, right? But now horizontal scaling in this case of Avalanche is now we say instead of everyone who is using Polymarket to go to prediction market using the main chain, can Polymarket create their own L1 so that all transactions for Polymarket are going through their own L1. All the people doing transaction for let's say by exchanging crypto, they use this L1. So you see that we are decongesting the chain, we are decongesting the primary chain, but also we are reducing the fees, because fees on a blockchain are usually measured by demand and supply. Basically, how many people want to send transaction usually affects the gas price. So nowadays is a bit stable, but back then when there were very few validators, you would find that if the number of people doing transaction increased even by like 10%, the gas fee will rapidly shift. And that's one thing. If you've done meme coin trading like me, I also think that is just betting. But if you've tried to buy meme coins, you'll find that sometime when you have bought the meme coin, it's pumping, and then people are starting to rag the coin. When you want to sell, the fees are so high, exceeding what you would going to earn. So if it showed you your meme coin has earned you $100 and now you want to get out, you see that the fees is $150, and you're wondering. That is because the transaction is, so many people are getting out of that position, so the transaction is very, very expensive. And that is the importance of having your own L1. So for scalability reason, again, I've mentioned about this. Throughput is just how wide the lane is. Time to finality is how long does it take to settle. I think I've mentioned that. And these are just some of the statistics again that we have. You can see that the finality of Avalanche is 0.75 seconds. Ethereum is 780 seconds. That's why if you have used what is it called, Binance before, when you sent money on Binance, especially when you are using this Ethereum, or sometimes I noticed with Polygon, you cannot just withdraw it. Yeah, right. So if you're in a hotel somewhere and you want to pay the bill with your Binance and someone has sent you, you have to wait for a bit of time before that transaction is actually confirmed. So that is all to do with finality. So I'm going to move fast towards this part, and I'm going to come back here so that I can also talk about independent and customizability. So I'll just quickly check through my notes because I had some notes here. Yeah, and so the second reason is actually independence, and most of these reasons that are to have your own L1, they kind of intermarry because they all lead to like lower gas fees, lower congestion, and just like having your own thing going for you in a cheaper and in a faster way. Because the main thing that marketed Web3 is that there is no bureaucracy of what we have in Web2. So you can do things in a decentralized manner without waiting for the time that it takes to do that in the Web2. So independence, which just basically means like you fully control, because the L1 is yours, right? You control what is happening in the chain. So if you're a financial institution, again, if I mentioned, if the CBK wants to do something, they cannot just have everyone as validators. They can say, instead of having everyone as a validator, or anyone can become a validator, we say like only financial institution legalized can become a validator. So for you to become a validator of this chain that does remittances of the Kenyan shilling, you have to come to us, you have to show us your legal documents, you have to do KYC, KYB on you, and then we can onboard you as a validator. You can't really do that on public chains. Yeah, like Ethereum, you can't do that. Also, the other thing that keeps on coming is congestion. I've mentioned that, and customizability. Now, the good thing about this L1, and I'd urge you to go and check the documentations after this session, is that you can customize everything. You can even go as low as customizing the virtual machine. So the C chain, which I mentioned before, uses the Ethereum virtual machine, but the other types of virtual machine, we have the WebAssembly, and the Move virtual machine. So you can actually customize everything on your layer one. So that's the reason why we are saying you're not creating L2s. These are L1s, because only an L1 can be customized to that level. For example, if you are having Base or Polygon or Optimism, you cannot customize the virtual machine, because eventually your transactions are going to be bashed up and they're going to run on Ethereum. So you cannot control what is happening on Ethereum, and Ethereum is a public chain. So you can't really go beyond that. Compliance, again, the CBK example, I think, fits the analogy, completely explains that for itself. Just you can control how things are happening on the chain. So I'll move to the next slide, which I think was layer 2. So I've talked about independence. Also, like the throughput thing is that I think I mentioned it before. If you have everyone, like DeFi people, polymarket people, you have gaming people doing transaction on a single chain, it becomes congested. The fees go up. But if you have your own chain, there's limited congestion and the fees can be much more stable and predictable. So continue. I don't know if there's a question.
Sorry, I just muted him. I think
You muted Silas.
Yep.
Sorry to interrupt. I had a question.
Sorry, Silas is muted. Maybe we wait for him to be unmuted first, and then he can answer you.
Oh yeah, I think I did that by mistake. Sorry. You had a question. Unfortunately, I cannot read that name.
Oh, sorry. It's just something out of what we are talking about. I am seeing that the Gemini is taking notes, so would we be accessing the notes sometime later in the slides too?
Okay. So for those who have not heard, you're just asking about the notes, and yeah, I think Lavender, the notes will be shared. Yeah, they will be shared. They will be shared after the session.
Silas, we
Yes.
lost you when you were just getting onto layer 2. So
Okay.
this slide wasn't there yet.
Okay.
We lost
Let
your
me.
audio.
Okay, sorry about that. Let me rewind. So again, did you hear about when I talked about independence? Maybe you can help me there.
Yeah, this slide, we were done with this slide. It was just
Okay.
the next slide. Yeah, from there.
Okay. Now, for me, I think I was just making the reiteration that most of these ideas really intermarry a lot, because less congestion is equals to less gas fees is equals to happy users. And the main idea that you want to have your own L1 is because of congestion, because congestion is the mother of all problems when it comes to three. It's going to cost you time, it's going to cost you money, and it's going to cost you the trust of your customers. So I feel like I'm repeating myself too much, but if I am, please forgive me. But it's because the ideas really intermarry of why you should have your own L1. Yeah. So again, another example: when there are many people, the toll goes up. When there are few people, the toll goes down. And this chart that shows the average Ethereum gas price between 2018 and 2023 clearly shows you that. So you can see the spike in gases happen when people are transacting a lot, because it's not like people do not sit somewhere and agree on a price. Like, for example, how M-Pesa does transaction fees. Like, it's not a boardroom of people sitting and say, if you're transacting between 5,000 and 10,000, you'll pay 79 bob. So it's not that way. It's just basically supply and demand. If many people want to transact, it becomes expensive. If few people want to transact, the price goes down. So congestion is something that you really want to avoid. Now, the illustration here just shows you we have the primary network, which is the Avalanche L1, and you have a sample L1 chain here with the logo there, and you have another sample L1 chain with the USDC logo. So you can see not everyone is buying USDC at a particular point in time. Not everyone is buying is going to a DeFi protocol at a particular point in time. Not everyone is visiting Polymarket at a particular point in time. But when all of them are doing it on one chain, the chain becomes congested. But if you have your own chain doing specifically USDC thing, then it's less congested. Maybe out of like the 100,000 of you, only 5,000 are doing USDC things. So like it's less congested and the fees remain predictable. Sorry. So I think I've talked about customizability. Sorry about that, where you can customize things as low as the EVM. So you can see here we have the virtual machine that we are executing on. I don't know how many of you have heard of the Ethereum virtual machine, but basically if you are from Java, if you've heard of the Java virtual machine, basically that is exactly what EVM is for blockchain. So it's just like an execution layer of code. They're called opcodes. Don't worry much about this. These are things that you come to meet on later as you proceed. But like, just think of it as the main engine that is doing the execution of code, or that is running the machine code. So when you have your own layer one, you can actually change the virtual machine. And changing the virtual machines means that you can change the language for smart contracts that are being written on your L1. So if you have an L1 in Avalanche, and maybe let's say you are a Rust developer, it doesn't mean that you have to start learning Solidity, right? Because you can change the VM to ASM or WebAssembly, and then you can have contracts of your own. Because again, this is an L1. You will define everything for your L1 and then write contracts in that language. Sorry about that. So I think I've talked too much. But anyway, compliance, I think, again, I talked about that. You can decide on who are the validators, who are the smart contract deployers, and who are the users of your L1. So you can configure the nitty-gritties of your chain. I think this talks about the same. Sorry about that. So the Avalanche 9000 introduced a special feature where, because before to become a validator or to deploy your own L1 chain, you had to stake at least 2,000 of AVAX. Now, I don't know how much 2,000 of AVAX is. Let me just Google. So that's a lot of money. That's $17,000. So that's a lot of money, which I'm sure like most people who are developing or are prototyping don't have. So this particular set of introduction in Avalanche meant that you no longer had to do that. It lifted a lot of financial pressure on people on building on Avalanche, especially those building and launching and wanting to become validators. Again, you can find more information about this on their website. I think I've oversimplified it because I also don't like understand everything, but like you can find more information. If you found that a bit vague, you can read about it on their main website. Again, this talks just about the introduction of the Avalanche 9000 architecture. I'm not going to go into that, unfortunately, because I see that I'm already beginning to struggle to talk, but like you can check out the notes and we'll also share these slides. And where you feel like you're lacking information, you can always ask in the community. So I'll finish off by saying Lavender mentioned something about the Avalanche Academy. And in the Avalanche Academy, you can actually become a pro in this thing because they teach you a lot of the things that I've talked about. So I've spent a lot of time talking about developing your own blockchain. And it's for good reason because as Avalanche sees it, this is the third generation of blockchain technology, multiple chain, multiple assets. So on the Avalanche Academy, it's like a full computer science degree, but now not computer science, but now blockchain nano degree. So great resources there, free of charge. I think if you complete that, then you're on your way to becoming like a senior developer. You can even become a co-developer by using those resources. And the good thing is that there are a lot of resources there and they keep on being updated. So if you want a long-term thing or you're building to become a senior developer when it comes to 3 and stuff, you can use it. If you're doing it to prototype for this mini hack, I saw that some of you said this is your first time building a 3 application. I think it's going to be a very exciting journey for you guys. I hope it's going to be more exciting than it was for me because Web3 really, how do I say, inakupea sight, like it excites you. For the possibility of building a 3 application is endless, mainly because it's a new technology and because it gives you access to customers you do not have. For example, if you're building something around M-Pesa Daraja API, you only have access to people who have M-Pesa numbers, right? But if you're using blockchain, anyone with an internet connection and not even a smartphone, if you have a computer, so anything that can compute code and you have an internet connection, that person can be a customer. So the opportunity are endless when it comes to 3. So visit Avalanche Academy to learn more and to learn how to build on Avalanche. I don't know, Lavender, maybe you can help me with this QR code. I'm not sure what it is about, but that will be all from me. Thank you. I hope you guys gain something from the talk. Yeah, I'm hoping to interact with you in the next 3 months. Thank you.
Thank you. I had a question.
Yes.
Say we have questions, follow-up questions for this week's topic.
Mm-hmm.
Can we ask in the WhatsApp group? Can somebody just bring it up in the WhatsApp group? That is the mini hack WhatsApp group.
Yeah,
Are you on it?
Yeah, I think you can do that. I think you are allowed to ask questions because it's a community. I think you can do that. Yeah, sure.
As in, so for you, will you be available to respond?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, thank you. On that note, then in the chats there is a link to the group if somebody is not in the WhatsApp group, the mini hack WhatsApp group. I will repaste that. Thank you.
Hi. The QR code displayed can is not working. Is the QR code supposed to be showing the link? Directions to the link below.
Sorry. Can you repeat your question? I don't know, Ama. It was not directed to me. I don't know. I wasn't.
It's because the
Finality. Yeah.
the slide is not
I'm sorry to I'm sorry to cut you, but I don't know if it's your internet connection or it's mine. But I would prefer like you type your question. If you can hear me,
Yeah, it's the QR code that we said that we are supposed to share us to reduce the support center because
Okay. So I think Lavender, you can jump back in because I think I'm done. Yeah, I also can't hear him. Ignedias, if you can hear me, please type your question on the chat or type your feedback on the chat so that we can read it easily. But I think that was all for me. Leave it to Lavender to continue from here.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Let's appreciate Silas, guys, everyone. Let's give him some round of applause. Yes, thank you, Bravo. Thank you, Bravo, and thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, Silas, for that informative session. It's been one of the most informative sessions. And yes, guys, if you have any question, no question is stupid, please come forth and ask all your questions. And of course, if you are unable to unmute your microphone or you have internet issues, feel free to drop them in the chat. We have an army of great developers and great, seasoned Avalanche Team 1 community members that will be happy to answer all your questions, and also Silas is still on the call to also answer your questions. Okay, so I want to now transition into the next episode, into the next phase. But before I transition, I want to give you like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, grab some water, like if you maybe you want to grab something, quickly grab something, and then you come back within like we're gonna resume in exactly 2 minutes. That's exactly 9:15 p.m. my time. So in the next 2 minutes we're going to resume, and we have an exciting poll that I want you all to participate on. So yes, come back so we can finally finalize on the session, and then we can call it a night. So I'm gonna give you like 2 minutes, just take a breather, and then we're gonna come back. Okay, all right. All right, so we are back. In case your friend is not back yet, please ping them, let them know that you are back, okay? So we're gonna get right into it. Okay, are you ready? Get ready, get ready. We have our polls coming up. So if you've been taking notes, this is a time to shine. If you've not been taking notes, Connie, what have you been doing? You know. So let us confirm. Let us confirm who are the index ones in this community. Let us see what you all are having up to. And I hope that everybody has actually been taking notes and been paying attention. So here are the polls. Polls are coming up. And I will, let me see if I could have a timer on, right? So that you could all be on time. Okay, so okay, so the poll is live. Yeah, can you see my screen? Can you see my screen, guys? No?
Personally, not yet.
No, all right. So the poll is live. I don't know if you guys can see the poll.
No, your screen, you're not sharing your screen at the moment.
But then I think the poll is just supposed to be coming to your DMs without sharing, but let me see.
Oh, okay.
All right. So the poll is already live, guys. I'm seeing guys already. I see already 6 votes in. We already have 6 votes. Okay, guys, can you see the polls? Does everybody have access to the polls? I think they have to be back somewhere, maybe. But all right, let's see. Okay, so but the first poll was simple. Just a sec. I think many people continue to join the call. Right. So the first poll was actually very simple. So what consensus protocol does Avalanche use? Is it proof of work, Nakamoto consensus? Is it delegated proof of stake? Is it Snowman consensus? Is it practical Byzantine fault tolerance? Or you're not sure? If you're not sure, let us know you're not sure. And we will see what you could do about that. But yes, so many people think it's Snowman consensus, and it's actually Snowman consensus. And the Snowman consensus is a really, it achieves a fast finality of less than 2 seconds by using repeated random subsampling of validators. No mining, no leaders, no rounds. Just the same way Sylus has been explaining to us on the call, okay? So in case you missed that part, now you know, all right? So on to our next poll. So I'll just end this poll. So not everybody has participated, but I think some of you cannot see the poll. So the poll should pop up on your side, okay? So that you can be able to participate, all right? So I'll end the poll and then I will start the other poll, okay? So second poll coming up. Second poll is up. New poll is live. Can everybody see the new poll? Right? Give me some reactions. Awesome. I'm seeing some index 1. Yes, Brina. Yes, Joseph. Let's go. So what are the 3 built-in blockchains on the Avalanche primary network? Is it Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Solana? Is it X-Chain, P-Chain, and C-Chain? Maybe, maybe not. Is it main chain, sub-chain, and smart chain? Is it relay chain, parachain, and shard chain? Which one is it? Let's see. I think me by sharing my screen is not helping, so let me stop sharing. Okay. Let's go, let's go. Yes. So in case anyone is stuck, please let's help one another so that people do not miss out on the poll. I know some of you might not be able to see it, but yeah, in case you're stuck somewhere, just let us know. Okay, so many people think it's X-chain, P-chain, C-chain, and it's actually X-chain, P-chain, and C-chain, right? So these are the built-in blockchains in the Avalanche primary network. All right, so I will end the poll and start the other poll. So poll 3 is coming up. Get ready. And launched. So the poll is up. So what best describes an Avalanche layer 1, formerly called Subnet? Is it a layer 2 rollup on top of C-chain? Is it a side chain with no connection and an Avalanche validators? Is it a sovereign blockchain network validated by a custom set of validators? Is it a smart contract deployed on P-chain? Which one is it? I'll give you 1 minute. Okay, so okay. I'll give you 1 more minute. I see many people are logging in. Yes. Let's see. So, what best describes an Avalanche layer 1, formerly called Subnet? So many people think it's a sovereign blockchain network validated by a custom set of validators. That is correct. And if you think it is a layer 2 rollup on top of C-chain, no. And if you think it's a smart contract deployed on P-chain, no. So what best describe Avalanche layer 1 is a blockchain, like we said, it's a blockchain of blockchain. And what does it matter? Is because layer 1 lets teams launch their own blockchain with custom virtual machines, right? The same way Sylus was explaining it. So it comes like tokenomics and customizing your own rules while still benefiting from the Avalanche security model. That's what makes Avalanche layer 1 powerful, a powerful network. Okay, so I will end the poll and start the other poll. So poll 4 is coming up. Poll is live. So how quickly does Avalanche achieve transaction finality? How quickly does Avalanche achieve transaction finality? Is it less than 10 minutes, like Bitcoin? Is it less than 15 seconds, like Ethereum proof of work? Is it less than 6 hours after enough confirmation? Or is it under 2 seconds? Which one is it? How quickly does Avalanche achieve transaction finality? Let's see. Awesome. So many people think it's under 2 seconds, and it's under 2 seconds. Anyone that thinks it's 15 seconds like Ethereum proof of work, no, that's wrong. Avalanche achieves its transactions finality in under 2 seconds, between 1 to 2 seconds. Okay, so majority of you actually got this right, which is great. Amazing. We'll end the poll and start the next poll. So this is poll 5 out of 7. We're almost done, so don't worry. For those that are actually already starting to worry about it. Okay, so poll 5 is launched. So poll 5 is live. What must a validator do to participate in an Avalanche layer 1? Do they have to mine blocks using GPU hardware? Do they have to hold at least 100,000 AVAX? Do they have to stake a minimum of 2,000 AVAX on the primary network and opt in to validate the layer 1? Or do they have to be approved by Avalabs directly? What must a validator do to participate in an Avalanche layer 1? The votes are coming in. The votes are coming in. I see so many index ones. You all have been paying attention to class. I love to see it. Nice. Okay. Okay, 1 more minute to go. Okay. Yes. So many people think it's actually, stake a minimum of 2,000 AVAX on the primary network and opt to validate the layer 1. And that's correct. So why does it matter? Because validators are economically incentivized and they must stake AVAX on the primary network first. This ties the different layer 1 security back to Avalanche's base layer. Okay, so make sure you remember that. I will end the poll and start our second last poll. So the poll is launched. And the poll is live. Which of the following is not a use case for the AVAX token? Paying transaction fees on the network? Is it staking to become a validator? Is it governing protocol upgrades through on-chain voting? Is it unit of account across Avalanche layer 1s? Which of the following is not a use case of AVAX token? Please understand the question correctly. This one looks like it's a complicated question, but it's not even complicated. The role of AVAX token, which one is it? Is it paying transaction fees on the network? Is it staking to become a validator? Is it governing protocol upgrades through on-chain voting? Or is it unit of account across Avalanche layer 1s? Which one is it? Okay, 1 more minute to go. All right, so majority of you think that one of the use cases of AVAX token, one of the use cases of AVAX token that is not ideal is to govern protocol upgrades through on-chain voting. Is it true? Is it not true? And some of you think that what is not a use case of AVAX token is a unit of account across Avalanche layer 1. So this is it's a blend of believers of option C and believers of option D. Now, which one is the right answer? So I actually tell the right answer. I want to give someone an opportunity to tell us what they think. Yes, Joseph.
Okay. Hi everyone. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay. So the reasoning is quite simple. The question is actually using a juggle of a lot of English words, but the very first use case is paying for transactions fees, because if you are building the native gas token that we use on Avalanche chain is still AVAX, and if you want to stake to become a validator, from the previous question that we answered, you need to stake a minimum of 2,000 AVAX, of which that we know so far. Now, between the third and the fourth option, for a governing protocol upgrade through the voting, for all AVAX holders, they do participate in governance decisions. That's okay. That's part of the deep stuff that you're going to dive in our next session. So kindly guys hop on. But now, one which is not the use case is unit of account across Avalanche L1, which is it is not a primary use case, because is from the also previous question, from what we're using right now, the Avalanche L1s, which we call them subnets, they can use their own custom gas tokens, not necessarily the AVAX. So for each L1, they can define their own fee structure and the native currency that they want to. So AVAX is not a universal unit for all accounts across all L1s. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. Thank you for the breakdown. Appreciate you for that. And yeah, so what is your stand? So is your stand like you selecting option C or option D?
C.
Okay, of course.
D. So
What?
unit of account. I mean, unit of account. Yeah.
Are you absolutely sure about your decision?
I think so.
Okay. So Joseph and the team think option D is the right option. However, that may not be the case, because option C is actually the right option. Because unlike so many other different networks, AVAX does not have the on-chain governance voting. And this surprises so many people. Because I remember at some point in time, someone asked me, hey, can you build a DAO on Avalanche? Except the protocol changes go through the ACP, the Avalanche Community Protocol process, which is very distinctive from many other different networks, apparently. So even me, I saw this some notes, and I was like, okay, interesting. So I was before then I would have easily gone with option D, but yeah. So all the option C fellas, they got it right this time around. Okay. Yeah, amazing. So okay, so we'll end the poll, and then this is on to our last poll, right? So 7 out of 7. So I am launching the poll now. And the poll is live. What is a virtual machine in the context of Avalanche? What is a virtual machine in the context of Avalanche? Is it a cloud server that runs an Avalanche node? Is it a wallet that stores AVAX tokens? Is it the blueprint that defines the logic, rules, and the state of a blockchain? Is it a smart contract deployed on C-chain? What is a virtual machine in the context of Avalanche? Okay. Maybe like 1 more minute. 1 more minute. I'm seeing another huge disparity, but let's see. Okay, so to end the poll, what is the virtual machine in the context of Avalanche? Right. So many people think it's A, and also a majority think it's option C. So many people think it's either a cloud server that runs an Avalanche node or the blueprint that defines the logic, the rules, and the states of blockchain. So it's more like a delicate balance between the two options. But before I say which one is the correct answer, is there any other volunteer that would like to volunteer and tell us what they stand for? Since this is the last question, the last poll, I would like a volunteer to, yeah, raise your hand, be confident. Even now we are at, actually, now we are.
Can I try?
Yes. Oh, okay.
All right. So I'm thinking a cloud, it's A because virtual machine, basically virtual machine are based off software engineering and all that, supposed to give an environment that holds the application and everything. So I think it's A, but C is sort of like the contract. It's sort of a definition of a contract. So it can't be the virtual machine. It's a contract that can be changed, but the first one, the cloud server, the virtual machine is not supposed to be changed. It's supposed to hold whatever you're going to create here. That is my opinion.
Okay. Thank you so much, Candy Chavez, for volunteering to share your insights and just, sharing with us. Well, before I say if it's correct or wrong, let me give Sandra an opportunity to share her insights as well. Yes, Sandra?
So for me, I think the answer is it's the blueprint that defines the logic, rules, and the state of a blockchain. Why I think that? Because when when the one was teaching Junior, when he was explaining, he said like that VM, it's like the Java virtual machine. And on the Java virtual machine, when you have to follow the rules, because the rules of the code, every time that you make a mistake, inakuoneshanga hapo hapo. That's why I think that's the answer.
Oh, wow, amazing. That's also a valid answer. So thank you for that. And then I saw one more person that had, I think was Joshua. Was it? I think he lowered his hand. But yes, so guys, who thinks Candy is right or who thinks Sandra is correct? So I need some reactions for this one. Now, this is public participation. We have to participate. So if you feel Chabet is right, give her a thumbs up. If you feel Sandra is right, give give a thumbs down. Or maybe give some, the confetti. Use the confetti for Sandra and then use the thumbs up for Candy. Yeah. So if Chabet is right, let's see if the thumbs up. If Sandra is right, let's see some confetti. Okay. Julia, you think Sandra is right? Okay, Sandra thinks Chabet is correct. Okay, Brina thinks Sandra is right. Terry, okay, I see. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as much as most of you think that Chabet is correct, Sandra is actually correct. So when it comes, yeah, I know, yes. When it comes to Avalanche ecosystem, a lot will surprise you, trust me. So yeah, you shouldn't be surprised. You should go and check out the Avalanche Academy. You will get so many information about the virtual machines, okay? But then if you remember very, very well when Silas was explaining to us about virtual machines, and then you remember very well when I was trying to make a, like in the beginning of the presentation, maybe you all were not on the call, but I said Avalanche is not just any other EVM, right? Which means Avalanche's virtual machine architecture lets developers actually deploy entirely customizable blockchains, not just EVM clones, So the EVM is just one of the many examples, but you can build your own customizable virtual machine from scratch using Hyper SDK. So option C is the correct option. So it's more like the blueprint that defines the logic, the rules, and the state of a blockchain. Okay, so don't forget that. As much as you're starting to build, please do not forget that. And in that case, I would advise everybody to just go through the Avalanche Academy and explore. So we will share the quests for this cohort for the first session, so that in case anything is confusing, you're not sure which one is the right one, like you can go through the different quests and be able to come to the next session being so knowledgeable about Avalanche. So thank you everybody for your active participation. I really appreciate you all. And let me give a chance to anybody that has anything else to share. If you have a question or a concern or feedback generally, let us know before we end the call, because we have come to the end of our session and it's been an amazing session so far. So I give you this opportunity to share away. At least you have 5 more minutes to spare with you before we end the call. Okay, I see many people are shy. I don't know why, but you all should not feel shy, okay? This is going to be a safe space. You all want me to stop recording so you can ask away? Anyway, it's okay. It's okay. No pressure at all. So this was our first session, by the way, guys, ladies and gentlemen. So we are continuing this session every Tuesday and every Thursday, same time, same place. So please make sure umekuja, okay? Make sure you come through. Do not be left behind. We will be sharing more information, more insights. There's so many cool things that we're gonna be doing, So you want to be part of this initiative. And then before I go, Joseph, you wanted to share something? I saw you unmuted your microphone.
Yeah. I was just setting a clarification to one of the polls question. The one concerning the on-chain governance. For that question, there might be two correct responses. CND, those are both correct. Cause on Avalanche, voting is not done on chain. Like for governance, it's done off chain. So that's one of the differences. So C is the correct answer to go for, and also D is also a correct response. Because of the unit of account, you can customize your own gas token to whatever you want. For you to test this out, check out the Avalanche starter kit, and when you're spinning up your own L1, don't go with the recommended option. Option A when you're selecting the gas token, go with option 2 for customizing your own token, and you guys are going to experience it firsthand. So yeah, just clarifying that.
Amazing. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you for the token of, insights that you've just shared. I think you're right to some extent. Yeah. So I think you're gonna be sharing more information in the coming weeks. And yeah, so just to encourage everybody to also do their own research, we're also here to just learn and be able to encourage one another to upskill ourselves. And as I am closing the session, I just dropped the link on the chat. So I would love for you all to take an opportunity to take this chance to use that poster to post on your socials and tag us. Tag this social platform that I'm gonna project right now. Yeah. So handle to tag, sorry, I should have added more tags, but priority at AVAX Africa, so we can repost you, some of our partners, Forge Labs, Bicenter, Nairobi, also tag Kenya Tech Events. We are partnering with Kenya Tech Events to make this initiative a success. So yes, so use that poster, we give you permission, you can add your headshot if you wish to, tag us on social media. We would love to see what you are, passionate about, what you learned about from this session. We'd love to see all of you actually just building in public and getting supported with one another. Okay, so take this moment to just also scan the QR code and join the movement, because this is going to be bigger and better progressively. The next session is going to happen on Thursday. Again, we have a weekly quest for this week. We're going to share with you the quest after this session. So you want to check your emails. And if you're not part of the community, please join the community right now. And the way to get started to join the community is by scanning the QR code. When you scan the QR code, you'll find so many relevant links for you to explore. So you want to explore the community links on either if you're on Telegram or if you're an active user of WhatsApp, explore the same. But then before everybody goes, I would love for you to just turn on your cameras so that you can take a group photo with everybody, and then everybody can just leave at their own pleasure. Okay? I say everyone is just laughing. Okay, just feel free to turn on your camera. It's never that serious. Don't run away. I see people actually running away. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Amazing. All right. So. Okay. Let's see. All right. Let's have the cameras on. It will be nice to remember the faces, guys. Yeah. Okay. All right. So ready when you are. I'll just do on a count of 3. On a count of 3. So we're waiting for you, Joseph, to show your face. Okay. All right, so let me take the picture real quick. So in the count of 1, 2, 3, let's smile. Amazing. I've taken one good picture. We will use this on our socials. Yeah. I hope you all consented to this on Luma, by the way. Yeah, so that nobody comes here and start to complain about us using their faces, okay? But thank you so much for joining the session. Have yourselves a lovely night. Until next time, see you again on Thursday, same place, same time, same link. More information, more impact, more more upcoming initiatives, and yeah, just enjoying the session basically. Come ready to share your knowledge as well. We love to learn from everybody. Otherwise, have yourself a good night, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Adam, before you.
Night, night.
Okay. All right.
Hi. I just want to remind you just to keep the organization